What's good, everybody? It is, let me check my notes. Oh, yes, Thursday, May 25th, 2023. This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting. And it's not close. My name is the Coach, and I just try to keep this train on the track. We're here every single day, 24/7, 365. Haven't missed a day since December 2020. And when you do that, you're going to have days that are subpar, which is what we had on Wednesday. Now, you know who was not subpar? The man who's become an absolute savage. First five, see ya. Once again, before we even got to dinner time, we had two cashes. Then the rest of the show just went off a cliff. But it happens, and you guys know that. But we're about so much more than just right here at the Early Edge. SportsLine Early Edge like this. Also, while you guys were getting out of bed, I've already been on CBS Sports HQ once today. I'll be on 2 or 3 more times later today. Follow me on social media. But you know when we have a bounce-back day, I got to bring my absolute very best. And that's exactly what I have done. Let's bring him in. The stars of the show. You know him. You love him. M Squared, the counselor, Danny Brasco. And we are fired up and laser focused. Real quick, though, whenever you have two cashes before 4 in the afternoon, you deserve a little something. First five, see you. How are you feeling today, sir?
You know, when I was looking at the slate yesterday, I noticed that my favorite 2 games were the games that started at 12:35 and 1:05. And I got to correct the record here, Coach. We had those cashes before 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It is nice when you look at a full slate and you see your favorite games in the early afternoon and you know you've got a shot to lift everybody up early. It was really cool.
My bad. My mistake on that. It is what it is. If you guys don't mind, could you take the chat down, hit that like button for me, put it right back up, and just keep on talking like you always do. The Early Edge community is the best in sports betting. But, gentlemen, we got to get into it because we have a big-time Game 5 tonight. The Celtics, they staved off elimination. They're going back home. And once again, the sports books have put that spread back up to where it was in Game 1, Mikey. In Game 2, -8. They didn't even come close because they lost those first 2 games. So the total is sitting at 215.5. Are we fading or following the Celtics as an 8-point favorite tonight?
I think I might be on an island here, but I like the Celtics. I think this is a double-digit win for the Boston Celtics. Personally, I think they're the better team by a significant margin still. So I'm on the Celtics side. I get that it'll definitely be a little bit of a contrarian take there, but number 1 team in terms of rim and 3 rate in the NBA all season. Now they're back on their home court. We'll talk about it later with my official pick, but I expect a very, very friendly whistle for the Boston Celtics tonight.
What does your model say about the total, Mikey?
It's a slight overlean. My preference, if you want to play the total, actually, this is very rare. Usually we're on first quarter unders. I actually lean to the over on the first quarter. It is at 54.5. It doesn't quite map. I have the number at 56 there. Again, those things are super fragile, though, so don't play a ton on that. But if I had to play something on a total right now, it would be first quarter, and then we'll look for end game because personally, I think this could be one of those games that ends with a 20 to 30-point margin.
I encourage you to follow my man on social media. You heard him say live opportunities. They're all over the place, but you have to be following, you have to be paying attention, and you have to be watching the game live. Now, speaking of live, Brian gets to join us live now because guess what? It's the last day of teaching for the summer. Kids are gone. Teacher listening education will go on through this summer with the Early Edge. You're damn right, Brian, because we educate and we entertain. That's what we're all about. Thank you for being a part of what we do. Now, counselor, let me come to you. Are we fading or following the Celtics as an 8-point favorite?
Well, I completely understand where Mike is coming from because I do see this as a scenario where it could get out of hand. The monkey is sort of off the back of the Celtics at this point, and they might feel comfortable at home, get a friendly whistle, which we know can happen in the playoffs. My lean here would still be to the Heat. What would be required would be for the Heat to continue the good 3-point shooting, which they didn't continue last game, but they have for a majority of the series. But again, this is a stay away for me with a lean to the Heat. I will say this. If Mikey is right about the blowout, that's very much in play. They win by 15, they win by 10, whatever the case may be. And you want to bet the Heat, maybe instead of this game, maybe you wait until next game because then the Heat are at home. And if it's a blowout and everybody knows that the Celtics are probably have more talent, you're looking at a 3.5 or a 4-point look ahead spread back in Miami. That's where I want to pound the Heat, maybe not here at the +8 number.
Very interesting advice. Very interesting advice. Danny Brasco. 2 of the absolute very best have weighed in. and now there's you. What say you, sir?
Well, Mike, I'm going to bring a towel and umbrella to that island and join you right there because the market, it seems like it's screaming Celtics, and -8 is tough to lay. I mean, it's hard to bring my money and lay the 8-point spread there. But, I mean, we're seeing some early reverse line movement. It looks like bets are piling in on the Heat, understandably so with that wide spread. And, it opened 7.5. Now it's at 8. So books are respecting other bettors, maybe the sharp bettors, maybe the pro guys are coming in on Celtics here. Look, it comes down to the 3-ball here. The Celtics, when they shoot 40% or better from deep, are 36-2 straight up on the season. So if they're letting it fly and hitting at a good clip, they're going to win this game and they'll probably cover. I don't want to lay the 8 just because math goes out the window if Jimmy Butler takes away your soul, and there's no calculation for that. So maybe I'll look to play the Celtics in the first half, maybe some player props on some three-pointers made, or maybe something at Jason Tatum. So I'm looking at Celtics plays. I don't know if I want to lay the 8, but I do agree with Mikey on that side that I'm thinking the Celtics pull this one off.
Well, we will have more best bets from this game on Early Edge and 5 today at 4 p.m. Eastern time. But it drives me nuts when I read things like this. We have to correct this. Raven Derelict says, I lost all my shirts on the Heat-Celtics the other night, so I'm off them for maybe ever. You guys know what I say to that. One game should never, ever throw off your game.
No shirts required on this island tonight, Coach. It doesn't matter. Come on over.
I couldn't say it any better. Thank you, Mikey. All right, now I've told you, and I don't lie to you at home. I don't, that the Early Edge crew is taking over. I've already been on once today, 1:40 Eastern. I'll be on again. 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll be on again. The whole crew on all day long. Where? Here.
Get breaking news.
Big news coming out of the NFL today.
Highlights and instant reactions.
The largest final round comeback in tour championship history. We're down to the final 4.
I just want to take time to analyze greatness.
Talk winners and losers with a guy who's already a big winner.
CBS Sports HQ. It's all sports all day long.
Did you notice in that promo they said analyze greatness? That's exactly what somebody just wrote about the Early Edge crew. That's what we do every day. We analyze greatness. Now, real quick, Mikey, before we get our board started, Reed said, Coach and crew, how about a little Jimmy Butler odds boost of over 27.5 points at plus 100? Mikey, take it.
I don't mind it. I think he's going to have to, honestly, for them to be competitive in this game. I think that it's going to be tough to continue to rely on their perimeter shooting from the teammates. I also think some injuries are starting to catch up with that Miami side here. So I think that if they are competitive and or steal this game, it's because Jimmy Butler finds a way to get to the rim and the foul line.
All right, there you go. He's going to be ready tonight. We'll have a couple more from you in the chat. But when we have a subpar day, or as I like to say, a ho-hum day, we have different ways here at the Early Edge. If you're brand new to this brand, first of all, welcome. But we have different ways of picking ourselves up. This is one of them, and it's one of my absolute very favorites. From day one, this man has been here. So on a day like this, when Michael Block is going to be the focus all day long, when the Heat and Celtics are going to be the focus all day long, what do we need? I know what we need. M squared, if you don't mind. You know the drill, son! It doesn't matter if it's the Heat, Celtics, Michael Block, the Charles Schwab, what sport. If you know SportsLine, you know my man's an absolute savage. So if you don't mind, sir, please give it to me.
All right, Coach. We're hitting Jason Tatum points here. Very simple, straightforward. Over 30.5, averaging 30 in home games in the playoffs. Another must-win game here. Love this spot for him, frankly. The biggest difference, though, between Jason Tatum home games and road games, especially late in these elimination spots, has been his ability to get to the free throw line. Just looking at this series alone, it's been absolutely incredible. The first 2 games at home, 23 combined free throws. The 2 games in Miami, he shot 3 total free throws. Looking back to the 76ers series, very similar. 27 free throws in the final 2 games, just 12 in the final 2 road games here. The minutes, the usage, the opportunity will be there. I think this is a tough ask for Miami. The Celtics are the better team. They get the home court advantage. They're still alive in this series. He's routinely going to be scoring in the 30s. It's highly correlated to their money line. Separately, I have played their money line. You don't see me play a minus 290 to minus 310 super often, but I have taken a rather large position on the Celtics money line tonight. I love this spot for Tatum and the Celtics.
Translation for those that are new, He really, really likes it.
Yes.
When he says that's translation. I like to translate for Mikey. By the way, your favorite sniper is in the chat. If you have any questions for Matthew Snyder, put them in there. He'll answer them in real time. Now, you don't get this kind of stuff anywhere else on any other sports betting show. You don't get this hard-hitting analysis like the sniper says, yeah, and on Paramount Plus, you can watch Beavis and Butthead or EC and Buckets. Either way, it's kind of the same show. It's kind of the same show. But seriously, Matthew Snyder is in the chat. So where do I go next? It's always so hard to follow Mikey and the resident genius that he is. But when you have 2 first fives that cash before, 3 p.m., guess what? You earn the Maestro spot. So, Danny Brasco, with all due respect, you're up next, please.
Well, guys, no UFC this weekend, so I'm headed to the Diamond here to give you an MLB play. And before I jump into that, I would like to say something to Mikey's point. You know, he's playing the minus 290 Celtics line. I hear people talk about value all the time, right? Value doesn't mean plus money. It means that you feel you have a better win probability than the odds suggest. So if he finds value in the money line there, I think I might add it as a parlay piece there. Just a point I wanted to make about the term value that people always talk about. Jumping into the Diamond here, I like the fish today. Give me the Marlins money line at minus 124, taking on the Rockies here. And I really like the pitching matchup. It's 2 southpaws going at each other. Kyle Freeland for the Rockies versus Braxton Garrett for the Marlins here. And Garrett, I feel like, has a significant advantage. He's been hot as of late. Over the past 2 starts, 16 strikeouts, 1 earned run, and he's going deep in both those games. We're in Coors Field where the ball flies, and Garrett has a 45% ground ball rate. I really like that. If he can keep the ball on the ground, the Fish have a much better chance to win. The offense has gotten hot as of late, and the Rockies are dead last against southpaws. They're 30th in the league. Meanwhile, the Marlins, top 10 against lefties. So I like the splits here for them. I like the pitching matchup. Give me the Fish money line, minus 124.
Last night, they looked fantastic with our man Jorge Soler going deep again. You like him a lot, don't you, Danny?
Oh, yeah. He's hitting ropes, man. He's hitting ropes.
Ropes. Absolute ropes. Now, there are no ropes in the world of soccer but here at CBS. And by the way, somebody in the chat decided that they wanted to take a shot at me. I just gave him all the respect. Raven Derelict, he said, CBS doesn't want to invest in the bigger doors required for coach's head if they do. I don't even know what you were responding to, Raven, but that hurts. Me? Ego? What are you talking about? But do you know where they have an ego? Do you know where they bring it strong? Say it with me. Galazzo!
Absolutely magisterial here.
Ego. Pshaw. Pshaw. Now, seeing Nejad, we've heard from Danny, heard from M Squared, but now the floor is completely yours, please, on a Thursday when there's the 2 favorite words that Mikey loves, day baseball. Where, sir? Where is your brilliance going today?
Well, we're going to go to golf and we're going to go to baseball. Let's start with baseball. Let's go with the Orioles. This one's a little dangerous. They got to go and play the Yankees again in New York. Orioles first 5 money line plus a half at minus 125. Again, plus a half in the first 5. So if it's tied at the end of 5, you win the bet. This is one of those where we've got 2 pretty bad pitchers in Kyle Gibson and Schmidt. You know, Gibson, as of late, he's been able to limit runs in spite of the fact that he hasn't been very good, but he's been able to limit runs in spite of the fact that he's played very, very good teams, very, very good bats. Schmidt, on the other hand, he's been okay lately, but against good teams, he's been absolutely exposed. Now, when he gets to play Oakland and Cincinnati, which has been 2 of his last 3, he has been able to limit things, but I really like the Orioles bats here. And I think when it comes down to this game, I think we're going to see a lot of runs, maybe in the first 5, maybe in the total. But what I love is that I think the Orioles, while the pitching might get exposed, they're going to be able to expose Schmidt. So I get that half a run. This thing could be 3-3 at the end of 5. We go ahead and cash the bet. I don't want to target the Yankees bullpen, and which is why it's going to be first 5, but I bet first 5 anyway. The other bet, it's going to be Joseph Bramlett as a pretty big dog, plus 105 over Min Woo Lee. when you look at the metrics here, long-term metrics, Joseph Bramlett is just striking the ball better than Min-Woo Lee. Min-Woo Lee, for the record, just got special temporary status on the PGA Tour. That might be kind of uplifting for him, and it might free him up in this round one. But at the end of the day, when I look at his metrics, the off the tee stuff, the approach stuff, it's been really bad. Last week, he had a great finish at the PGA Championship while gaining over 11 strokes with the short game, with the around the green game and the putter. That's too much to lean on. Bramlett's been very consistent. He can have a bad putter here and there, but I'm counting on a decent putter, good weighted tee to green stuff, and I can't count on that for Min-Woo Lee. So I'm going to take the dog here at plus money.
For some reason, Joseph Bramlett always starts really, really well. I don't know what it is, but he always starts really, really well. Not every player does that. Tiger,
Coach,
never. Yeah, go ahead.
We hit him as a first-round leader on the early wedge like 3 months ago. I think it was my first Joseph Bramlett was my first-round leader hit when the show debuted.
I remember that like it was yesterday. Great takes on both sports. Mikey, real quick question in the chat. I think DK is the place, but Jaylen Brown and Tatum both to go north of 20. I think it's plus 100.
I don't mind it. I'm more focused on Tatum than Brown. I think that Brogdon and some of the other players can get there. So the Jaylen Brown leg of it is definitely of a little concern. So I'm not going to play it personally.
All right. I'm sure EC will, though. If there is certain things that others won't do, EC will do it. He'll be on Early Edge today in 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time. One bonus pick as we grab our paper, grab our pencils. Here is the recap, courtesy of the Snake. I'm throwing one in. It's kind of in synergy with the counselor. Orioles, Yankees over 9. This entire series has been just runs. Last night, the Orioles scored 8 in the 7th or 8th inning. I think it was the 7th inning. And that one sailed to the over. 9-6 was the final. I love the over. Both pitchers today. The ERAs are north of 4.5. I just like this spot. And Sia likes the Orioles. First 5 plus a half run, minus 120. That means a tie game or ahead, we cash. Then in the first round, afternoon wave, Joseph Bramlett over Min-Woo Lee. Then Denny Brasco. One big play today, the Marlins, money line, minus 124. Then M squared. Follow all of my crew on social media. Turn on the notifications. Jason Tatum over 30.5 points, minus 118. He will have to do the same thing he did in Game 4 tonight in Game 5. There is no other way for Boston to beat this Miami Heat team. And then, of course, once again, my Orioles, Yankees over 9. Also, turn on your notifications. Go to the CBS Sports app. There you'll see CBS Sports HQ. We're all over it all day long. Please come and join us there. We're everywhere, and we do it because we love it, but we also do it because you guys allow us to do it. And for that, we are forever grateful. And with all that being said, it's going to be a good day. There's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. Brian Tucker, Lobo, Counselor, M squared, my man, Danny Brasco, and the Snake always on the 1s and the 2s, doing the hard work behind the scenes. Can't do it without him. I am simply the coach trying to keep this train on the track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.